While the struggle for equality in humans is still ever present, some animal species have shown that matriarchy is the way to go.
Yes, women workers do present problems, Joe.
She just wants to hook some guy.
All right, so I want to get married and have a family. Is there anything wrong with that?
Nothing, except your idea that you'll never need science to keep house.
Hi, I'm Danielle Dufault, and you're watching Animalogic Second Nature. This video is made in collaboration with Planet Wild. Stick around to the end of the episode to learn more. Or click here to watch their video about protecting elephants and the livelihoods of the locals in Tanzania. Sociality in animals is a wide spectrum. While some species live in tightly knit communities, like gray wolves, others, like polar bears, rarely ever interact with other members of their species. But even interaction isn't a metric of sociality. Just because a species clumps together on occasion, like in the case of solitary Christmas Island red crabs during mating season, that still doesn't mean they are social animals. Sociality evolved in many species, so they can take advantage of an array of benefits, like protection, coordination, cooperation, and reproductive success. The reason not all creatures are social, however, is because these benefits need to be balanced by the drawbacks of living in a group, like diseases and competition for resources. Oh, this has become a three-way head bashing fight. Oh, this is crazy. Among mammals, there are about 76 social species that have clear leaders, most of which are male. Wow, oh, here he comes. Look at the size of that lad. Of course, the dominant male is the first to come feed, and he leads the example for the rest of the herd. There are, however, a select few social animals that live in societies that are led by females.
That ain't what I learned about women. Women scare me.
Well, maybe the women are scared too, Joe.
Some of the most iconic female-led animal species in the world are the elephants, who live in tightly bonded groups of related females and their young. Each member of the elephant herd is responsible for caring for the young ones, and in doing so, ensures that each elephant has 7 to 15 years of experience raising young before she reaches sexual maturity herself. The matriarch of the group is often the oldest female and is responsible for leading the troop to food and water, as well as keeping them safe from predators.
What does E stand for? Why, E is for these playful young African elephants. Let's listen to them.
Elephant herds are matrilineal, meaning that the leadership of the group is passed down from mothers to daughters. When the matriarch dies, her eldest daughter will take over. The reason that the eldest and therefore most experienced female leads the group is that she is better at assessing threats from predators than younger, less experienced elephants, and is therefore the ideal protector of the group. Similarly, the leader of a pod of orcas is often the most senior female, who is highly experienced in finding food and has made it through many lean times herself. With male orcas typically only living to about 40, and females easily reaching 60 or even 90 years old, when it comes to wisdom about where to find resources, female orcas often have decades on their male counterparts. Unlike elephants and orcas, which, aside from the matriarch, don't have a clear order of rank among females, spotted hyena groups have a very strict pecking order in their cackle. And yes, a group of hyenas is called a cackle. Spotted hyenas live in mixed groups of males and females, with females remaining in the clan their whole lives and males leaving when they reach sexual maturity. The clan itself is made up of many matrilines, who hunt separately but all work together to defend a shared territory. The matriarch of the hyena family is at the top, with her daughters next in line. Surprisingly, the younger hyena daughters actually outrank their older sisters. And with rank comes some serious bonuses. Those that rank higher have greater lifetime reproductive success than the lower-ranking members. While this pecking order seems like the perfect opportunity for lower-rank females to challenge the upper ranks, rebellions within a spotted hyena cackle are actually rare, since most other females will support the higher-ranking one when it comes to conflict. One reason for that is that social instability is costly for the entire group, so all members, regardless of their rank, are invested in maintaining that status quo. Lions are the only cats to live in social groups. Their prides are almost entirely female, containing up to 20 members, with males leaving the group to find other prides when they reach sexual maturity.
Women can be awfully jealous of each other, and women are more sensitive than men.
I'll say they're sensitive.
Females are responsible for guarding their territory from other prides looking to infringe on their turf, and hunting collectively for the group. While most daughters are recruited to stay in the pride, about a third will break off to form their own prides elsewhere. Males are transitory, traveling in pairs or small groups known as coalitions in the hopes of gaining favor from a new pride. They rarely travel alone since competition is so fierce. It's dangerous not to have a buddy or two. These strongly bonded coalitions of males will remain together and even snuggle up their entire lives. When it comes to romance, though, ultimately it's up to the females to decide which males they want to have around. And the favor of females can fizzle fast, with males usually only being allowed to stay with the female pride for a couple of years before being pushed out. When simultaneous birth happens in a pride, mothers will form what is called a crèche, in which they raise their young together, even nursing each other's cubs. They do this to protect against infanticide, which accounts for more than a quarter of cub deaths and happens when a new coalition of males attempts to come into the pride. Since males are around 1.5 times larger than females, it's easy to overpower a single female and kill her cubs. But the crèche mothers can team up and protect their babies from unwanted males. Even with this sisterhood, they still rely on the males of their current coalition to patrol the territory and protect them from would-be intruders. There are around 120 lemur species, all endemic to Madagascar. Most of these, like the ring-tailed lemur, live in social groups and exhibit female social dominance. Ring-tailed lemurs live in groups of 3 to 30 individuals of both males and females. Unlike other matriarchy animal groups, the lemur dominance hierarchy is not based on a family line. Like many other female-led animal societies, to ensure genetic variation, females tend to stick with their birth group, while the males venture out to other groups when they hit sexual maturity. In these female social dominance societies, female lemurs will assert their dominance over their male counterparts. Unlike other primates, lemurs are the only species that show little or no sexual dimorphism, in which males are usually significantly larger than females, so the lemur playing field is much more level. Since they are dominant, females get to choose who they mate with. When it comes to conflict between females and males, the males will almost always submit, giving up their food or even preferred sleeping spots to the challenging female.
She's a sweet and lovely girl, but she's so busy being happy all the time that our little thoughts tend to wander and, oh dear, they're wandering again.
When it comes to female-centric primates, another is even closer to home. The endangered, peace-loving nymphomaniacs share 99% of our human DNA. I'm talking about bonobos, who scientists are looking at as an evolutionary model of how humans developed our traits of tolerance and cooperation. Unlike other female-led species in which younger males are ousted from the group once they reach sexual maturity, it is the females in bonobo troops that seek out new groups during adolescence. When they arrive in the new group, these new members will seek the frequent attention of one or two senior females, rub genitals, and groom them to establish a relationship. If these advances are reciprocated, the young female will slowly be integrated into the group. Her position as a member is solidified once she has her first offspring. Females are truly at the center of every aspect of bonobo life. Even males will be tied to their mothers their entire lives, depending on them for protection against other males. Research shows that bonobos are not just female-centric, they are also female-dominated, despite the fact that females are generally smaller than males. When threatened by a male, all the females will stick together to chase him off. Often males arrive at a feeding site first to quickly gobble up their fill, before females arrive and they have to relinquish their feast. Meerkats have a completely different way of running their groups. A single dominant female is responsible for most of the reproduction in the group, along with her mate of choice, who is the father to about 90% of her offspring. The rest of upwards of 50 other members of both males and females are tasked with guarding and feeding the dominant couple's offspring. Subordinate females rarely get pregnant themselves, but if they do, their babies are either killed by the dominant female, aka grandma, or the mom is exiled from the group. The dominant female meerkat can maintain her power for up to 10 years, but usually only stays on top for an average of a couple of years. A female can become dominant by either ousting the existing dominant female, founding a new group after being evicted herself, or taking over when the dominant female dies. Long live the queen! Other examples of female-led societies come from the insect world.
You see, ants are what we call social insects. They live in community. Now, this is a queen. There are a few queens in each ant community. All they do is lay eggs.
Unlike most mammals, bees and ants are eusocial, meaning that a single female, known as the queen, produces offspring while non-reproductive workers are responsible for their care.
There's a grill in between to keep the queen bee from going up and laying eggs in the honey storage place. That would spoil the honey.
This highly organized way of living is a huge part of why ants and bees have become so successful throughout most of the world, since it lets them efficiently gather resources and defend themselves against enemies. While relatively common in insect colonies, the East African naked mole rat is one of the few mammals in the world that is truly eusocial. Naked mole rats live in a female-led, highly hierarchical social structure, in which every member has a role in supporting the reproduction of just a few. Like in bee and ant colonies, the female leader is called the queen and is the only one that reproduces. The rest are either workers or soldiers, raising the young or defending the colony. Much like bees and ants, this system is highly efficient and helps ensure that the entire group will thrive. In the elephant world, matriarchies are an amazing way to keep young elephants safe from danger and for finding food. But in the never-ending quest for the next meal, some of these groups are running into a new threat: farmers. Tanzania has a growing agricultural sector, and new farms are being built every day. Some of these are in the habitats of elephants or in their migration routes. This ends up causing conflicts between people and elephants that can be deadly for both parties. Thankfully, our friends at Planet Wild are working on a very creative solution for this problem based on a little-known fact.
Elephants are afraid of bees. That's right. The largest land animal on our Earth is afraid of one of the smallest.
The plan consists of making a fence out of beehives to prevent elephants from going into farms.
Wild survivors have installed over 100 beehives, all connected through a wire. If an elephant tries to cross, it touches the wire, which will shake up the beehives and alert the bees, making them buzz around and leaving the elephant with only one option: abort the mission.
And the best part is that the honey can then be collected. So it brings another source of income to a local women's collective that's building a honey processing and distribution facility.
With the additional beehives funded, we are helping to rapidly expand the nature-based protection of over 1,000 elephants traversing regularly through the Upper Kaiteri Wildlife Corridor.
And this is just one of several projects that the Planet Wild community is funding. You can also become an environmentalist for as little as $6 a month. It's one of the most cost-effective ways to help conservation efforts. And the best part, as a Planet Wild member, you get to see the impact of your contributions every month, so you actually know what your contribution is being used for. So watch till the end for a link to their elephant protection video, or click the link in the description. So while most of these social structures wouldn't fly in human culture, what we can learn from these female-led societies is that having women in leadership roles is second nature.
Remember, Joe, we couldn't have won this without the help of the women.
So what should we talk about next? Please let me know in the comments and be sure to subscribe for new episodes every week. Thanks for watching and see ya!